Rolling.
Scene 3, Rabbit, take 2.
The hardest part of directing my film was making sure that everyone was on task. And with my film, we went off the storyboards a little bit, so it was kind of hard to figure out, exactly what we were doing. But it came together in the end, so I'm happy with that.
So it was very realistic. Getting dumped by two girls. Been there, done that. Getting trapped in a movie theater. Haven't been there or done that. And also never died by an air conditioning vent. Least favorite part? Having to set up the lights and having to get the perfect picture, because setting up the lights takes so long and it's very stressful and too much.
One of my favorite shows ever is called The Good Place, and it's set in the afterlife. And the first episode is where someone mistakenly gets put in the good place, and they're aware of it. And I was watching that, and for some reason I thought of what if you were watching big moments from your life in a movie theater, and then that's kind of just what I wrote down.
I've always liked more I don't know if the word's contemporary, just more experimental, well, whether it be film, books, video games, any sort of medium of storytelling. I've always liked it when it's more experimental and it doesn't follow the traditional format. So I was trying to do something similar with my film with that, where instead of going for writing a specific story with a specific conclusion and you get to know all the characters and stuff, instead of doing that I went into a situation where you're kind of thrown into the middle of it and you kind of either get to pick for yourself what you think it's mostly about, or the vibe is just giving you're more supposed to be thinking about the vibe than you're supposed to be thinking about the the plot.
Because I wanted to get better at editing, but then I noticed I kind of really enjoyed acting too.
It went pretty smoothly for the most part. The last day was pretty intense because we had to get a lot of shots done, and I feel like the last day you almost never have enough time to get done what you want to do.
Not to get angry. I got angry a lot.
So mentally it was probably the editing, because you could see it all coming together, and if you saw something you didn't like or you were missing something, it was very frustrating because you felt like you had it all and then you had to go back and see all the slip ups you made. But physically the hardest is probably setting up the different sets, because the lights are very heavy and precarious and it takes a lot of time.
Cookie Jar was a very busy and stressful set, and since we weren't shooting in order, it was kind of hard to know what a mood should be, or kind of how you want to deliver stuff. And also I'm not that great at acting, so I think that was a big challenge for me, but it was also really fun.
A lot of the time it feels like people just aren't listening to you even though you're speaking at the top of your lungs. It was fun to use an accent in that one for the detective.
I had never acted before. I didn't know how to memorize scripts. I didn't really have any experience, but I did it, and I think my performance is okay, I hope.
I'd say it was really nice because Liam, the DP, he knew what he was doing a lot of the time, and he knew how to articulate certain shots that I wasn't entirely sure how to articulate or shoot, so he was really helpful during the shoot of the set of the film.
My favorite part, honestly, the grip work was pretty fun because I actually got to watch the set and stuff.
If you're the sound guy, you gotta be persistent, because sometimes you got them shots where you're holding it like this for 5 minutes straight, and you need that stamina. You need that stamina. That's my advice. You need that stamina.
The hardest part was definitely having to sort through and rename each individual file for all the videos and the audio separately. That was quite boring. It took a while.
The cookie jar, there was a lot of people, and I was the assistant director, so it was a lot to control. But it was, I think we got it done. We were a little late, but we did it. And I think the final product turned out really well. So, yeah.
I did sound for the lake, and I was AC for the other one.
I worked for 3 projects. I did the lake. I was an actress for that one. I did my project for them. I was AD, director, a bit of DP. I did a little bit of sound. I did slate as well and a bit of acting. And then I was DP on the cookie jar, was it? Yeah, I was DP for like the last few scenes.
We needed a break. It kind of like slowed us down immensely because we like lost a quarter of our workforce because there were only 4 people on our workforce. So it was very tedious in that way, where it was like hard to like try to balance giving people like the proper breaks that they needed while still managing the time appropriately. But it was also nice because we didn't have to keep track of so many people. You didn't have to like make sure everyone knew what they were doing. It was just like 5 people, and you'd be like, okay, you do that, you do that, you do that, and then they all go do that thing, and then they come back.
Yeah, so there's a huge lighting problem where you could actually see the lighting if you did the shots that we were actually planning to do. So instead we had to cut out a bit of the dialogue, and then we had Levi run up to the stage. Levi's Aaron run up to the stage quicker than we were supposed to in the script. So we kind of cut out a bit of dialogue, but yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal.
I think the main challenge with it was that we had like 2 days to do it.
We're made out of meat. Meat. Meats are made out of. Meat. Can I just say meat they're made out of? Yes!
And it was only dialogue, so it was working out actions and then figuring out how we can do 2.5 pages of straight talking. I think one of the challenges was running on very short time and having to rush like a lot of the second half, but overall it was fun to do.
Favorite part of camp was, I would have to say, honestly, just acting, because it was really fun to act and pretend like I was different people and actually like pretend like I was in a movie when I really was, because I've always watched movies and I was always like, oh, like I've always wanted to be, or like I want to be in a movie and I wonder how I can be in a movie. So.
I like never do anything during the summer, and I'm really like into movies and stuff, so I think it's kind of cool to be able to spend my summer like around people that like the same thing as me and like contributing to it.
I wanted to do this camp because I wanted to form connections and form a group of, like, you know, find a group of people who like the same things as I do. And boy, did I try to find people.
You want to tell us the real reason you guys did camp?
The real reason why I joined this camp, my mom saw this, like an advertisement for it, and she was like, it's either this or you get a job this summer. And I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Always be prepared, because if you're not prepared, you can mess a lot of things up. And stay focused. Stay locked in.
I really liked getting to know the people here. They're very nice overall. And I liked learning more about the process of filmmaking, like learning how much stuff goes into the different aspects of it.
Connections are really important in the industry, especially as a young child.
It was really fun going to a camp with a bunch of other people who also love movies and making movies.
My favorite part was definitely all the little in-between moments when we were either setting up a different shot or just making jokes or getting to know each other, because I feel like that's where that's the magic of it, seeing like everyone get along and everyone coming together and making something for everyone to enjoy.
Probably the friends I made along the way.